All right. How's everybody doing tonight? Make sure you plug your USB into your Android. Go ahead and remote into my Mac. The key's up here for the ID for the session. And we're going to start on showing you how to set up your Android device in developer mode to where you can connect your Mac or PC to your Android device via Android Studio. Not real hard to do, but it takes a few steps. We'll walk you through how to do that. And then I'm also going to go over week 5's assignment, even though it's a take-home. I'm going to go over it with you, go a demo, and go over the code. I did create a PDF for it this week as well, even though we're doing it outside of class. Hopefully that'll help. The in-class one will be Kotlin. We'll go over an example, and I'll have you add another piece of code to the Kotlin example to make you understand how to, split a string and call an array of that string. I believe is what we're going to do on that one. I'll wait for everybody to get in to my Mac, and then we'll go from there. At the top of our class, there's a link that says live link, only works during class. And underneath it says enter key session on whiteboard and your full name, and make sure and join the via web browser button, the green via web browser button. Don't click the one above that. It's the very bottom, join via web browser button. The middle one will actually have you download a client or something. We don't need you to do that. So at the top of the class, it only works during class. Session on the board, full name, bottom green button. It looks like folks are entering in here. We got Paul, Jesus. I see everybody in. I'll get started. Okay, Mike's in. We got Paul, Jesus, Alex, Mike. Still waiting on Jack. Let's go. Looks like we got some folks outside the class connecting. That's all right. Okay, so first thing we're going to go over is connecting your Android device, firing it up, and really doesn't need to be connected to do this, as that's a power. So in your Android device, when you fire it up, one thing you'll need to do is go into your settings button, which is at the bottom of your Android device. Looks like a gear. You'll go into the settings button and scroll down to the bottom of that screen, and you will enter in or tap on the developer link. Tap on the developer option or developer link at the very bottom. And then you want to find a section in there that says USB debugging, and check that. And that is it. You're ready to push it to your Android device, which we'll do in just a second. So again, fire up your Android, tap on settings, go down to the developer button at the bottom, and then checkbox the USB debugging checkbox. And then you can tap the home button to go back to home. And I'll show you my Mac here. I might use yours if you don't mind. Do what now? USB debugging. USB debugging, yes. It's on the at the very bottom, settings, developer, USB debugging. Would you mind letting me use yours again? Mine's not powered up yet. Thank you. All right, so All right. So I've got a students here I'm going to connect to here. Show you on my. So he's got his set to debugging mode. Paul's got it on debugging mode, and we're going to go ahead and show you on the. If you view my screen, I want to show you what it looks like in Android Studio when you have an app running or an app you're developing, and you want to switch it from simulator mode to the actual Android device. So I'm going to go up here and click play. Notice in here now, the name of your device is actually called Soft Winner T7 Android 4.42, whatever, API 19. Now, if you've upgraded yours since then, that it might say something different than that. But it'll say whatever version of Android you're running on your device. And then you'll select that and versus the whatever you have in there for the virtual. Click OK. And what it's doing right now is it's compiling the app, and it's going to install it on Paul's device here in a second, and I'll show you on the right here it is. My home button. Probably hit the button. Oh, I killed it. All right, stop it. Let's do it again. Oh, it's locked. Okay. I will lock it, unlock it, and do it again. Maybe when I picked it up, I hit the lock key or something. Oh, that's why the screen locked it. All right, so I'll kind of hold it up like this so you guys maybe see it. It's running actually on the device. And there it is. There's the app actually. The week 5 app actually is running on it right now. And so once you're finished running on the device, you can hit the stop button like I just did on Android Studio. And then on Paul's, the middle button, which shows all the apps, the middle circle button, he should be able to scroll over and find that. Probably on the, let me go home again. All, go to apps. Week homework. I call it week home work. That's what it's called. Week home work with the ugly Android icon. So there it is. There you go. There you go. Cool. And that's as simple as it is. It's that simple. And once you USB it, debug it, just make sure if you accidentally uncheck that USB bug anytime or debug checkbox, it will not let you connect to your Apple or PC to connect. So I'm going to kind of walk around, see how you're doing, make sure everybody can connect. And what we'll do in the Android Studio, if you want, is just to make sure it runs. You can run it. You can pull up any app you want to on the Android Studio to test it. So it doesn't matter what kind of app it is. It be simple Hello World or something. That's fine. Yep.
It's not showing my.
Okay. Let me see your. Make sure you have it on USB debug. Unplug it first. Good. All right. And go ahead and unplug that. I'll give it one record. Short. If this one any longer, we'll find out. Uh-huh.
We know it's enabled the USB. Still not showing up.
Oh, okay. Let me get in there real quick and I'll have a look at yours. Figure out why it's not going on yours.
I think the last time I checked, it said something about no driver.
No, that's not good. It's the USB debug mode is why. It shouldn't show up. But let me see here. Okay. So let's go into, and you have Android Studio running?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, there it is. What is this? check it. And I looked at it. So, showing on your device is a T7 on the Windows machine looks like, so it's a USB right now. Like that's good.
Oh, oh no, it's a copy of the service part. It's on the Henry, but it's really, really slow. But I mean, it's the same. They copy it. But oh, nicer. It's slow. Oh yeah. I mean, more processors.
you have two API. Had you run the simulator before you tried this? Had you run the simulator earlier before you tried this connection?
The simulator?
Yeah. It was
No,
running,
not today.
Okay. It was still running, so it was caught up on that one. This was the project. It was two months now. All the It isn't surprising. This happens sometimes on the machine. Yeah, do me a favor. Your USB, if you plug this in the back, pull up that quarter. On the USB in the back of this, should be a USB in the back of this. Did your Mac work, by the way?
Yeah, my work. Yeah.
Work, Jack? How about you?
Yeah,
Huh?
I had to download some updates.
Okay, what about you, Jesus?
Yep.
Work, good? Paul, not on that machine? Worked on yours? No, use yours, your laptop though, right? Okay. It might be these ports, these USB ports possibly, might be the culprit. It's not recognizing at all. Perfect. Let's see what we have. Um, For the four closures, what's your say on the Android Studio? When you run it, what's the version say? When you run it off your when you hit play.
Yeah, I'm doing 4.
What's it say on? I just want to see what it says when you hit it's connected. It's the version, the API version on these machines might be too high to recognize the API on these might be too low on the devices. You know what I'm saying? The routing might be too high. So go ahead and run that play button on it. Okay. Did it not give you a pop? Oh, you're still. Yeah, I got you. Disconnect it, reconnect it. Let's see if it gives you that pop up again. Okay, what's it tell you the version is? No, not the Nexus.
Android
4.4 what?
4.4.
KitKat 4.4, which is 19.
19.
Yeah, because see, these have API 27. So what we need to do on these machines, looks like, is just download the API 19, everybody, if you're listening to me. You can't install on Windows, you download the API 19, and that should do it. Yep, you'd already done it, yeah. 19 was one I recommended a while back, I think.
Right.
So, yeah, 19 is one. Probably KitKat's probably the #1 platform for developers in Android because it's the lowest common denominator. Yep, exactly. Right. I will. Easiest way is I'm already downloading this one on your Android Studio screen. I'll just come over and show you. Easier for me to show you than trying to walk you through. And just, so what you want to do is over here to the APK, the ABD at the top, ABD manager. Sorry. SDK manager. And we want 4.4. Fine. Okay. Upload. Almost done. Okay, so everybody else go ahead and do the same thing. You'll go to the ABD manager, you upload APK 19 on your Android Studio. I'll help you. I'll come by and make sure they got that. It's the SDK manager. It looks like a down arrow on the upper right corner of Android Studio. And you want Android 4.4 KitKat. Click apply, then click OK. Let it download. Well, it looks like a down arrow on the upper right corner. It's the SDK manager. Right there. Download. Looks like an arrow pointing down. And you should have 4.4 is what you need. Yeah, 4.4, and then click OK, apply. That's fine. It's just up downloading it. You guys doing that over here? Doing it on your Android Studio. Right, close. And then send over here, download arrow. And you want to select Android 4.4 KitKat. Click apply. Okay. And let it download. Once it downloads, you'll hit finish. Then we should be able to unplug, replug our USB into our Android Studio or into our Android device. Make sure it's set to USB debug mode. We should be good to go. Can you find out?
Do we press finish?
Did not.
Hopefully that'll work.
No, should. Make sure it's still set to debug mode. Yep, it is. Good. Might have shut down Android Studio and restart it possibly. Because it also depends also too on your version. Your application can be running also on a different API, meaning it won't run in your app either. So you have to change the API on the app level, which I will help you with that as well.
The Sears automatic Android library. It's got something to do
Yeah.
with it. No, you don't do it. All right.
Change the
Yeah, it's got to be set to a different API on the app level. I'm trying to find the best way to sort of show you guys how to do that. Because once you do it, it's kind of tricky to set it back, but I'll find it for you.
Android emulator. So,
That HAXM, is that
what now?
specifically for Mac?
What's that?
The HAXM emulator?
No,
Is that a Mac?
Macs use it, but I think some Windows also do. All right, okay, so it's recognizing on Macs, recognizing on PCs, it's just not recognizing the PCs in here. Yeah, right? Which, it's got to have, that's got to happen. And if I was to guess, now let me just guess right now. I'm guessing there's something system-wide. I think there's a system in here we use called, what is it here? PCs. It's one of the blocking tools.
Yeah, it's not allowing, right?
It's not allowing
access, so.
access outside the computer for USB, I bet. How much want to bet? But that's what it is. So let's see if I can bypass it. If not, I have another workaround. Let's see here. So device manager, USB. I don't think I can kill that. Stephanie would have to do it. Kill that application. I don't know why we have it in here anyway. All right. So let's see here. What's that? Yeah. Okay, I might have to turn this off then so we can use it. That's what I'm guessing is blocking it. Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. So here's the workaround though, what we can do. I mean, you can do it still here on campus down in the Mac lab, and you can do it after class or whenever. There are the back 3 Mac units in the back of the Mac lab have Android Studio installed on them until I have her disable that. Does that make sense? So we'll just do that. And then also, the other way we can do it, by the way, is in Android Studio. I still have control of see my monitor. Because I think it's worth spending time on this, and I can do the podcast for the other stuff later. Okay, so what we can do this way is also we can go into an app, and I'm recording this as well. So we can go into the app, and we can build this APK, and you've done that already for the what is it? Apizio, right? You've done that. You can email APK to yourself and double click on it in an email, and it should open it up in your Android Studio, in your Android device just fine. You can do that as well. So I'm gonna actually test this real quick to those who can't connect. I'm exporting my APK right now and seeing if I could, and I'll just put it up there on our website real quick, and we'll see if that's the case. It should work fine. So let me go to let's see. I will go and put this in. We'll go on to modules in the course conference. And we'll have you test this to make sure. Test online app. And I will add this to this page in just a second. And I'll have those of you who couldn't connect in here, see if you can click on this APK. Do you guys have your email? Do you have it set up to where you can check your email on your device yet? So it'd have to be a website you can go to, but you can do that. You can log in. You can log in via website, but yeah. Have you logged into Eagle yet from yours? Okay, you've not. Okay. It might be easier then for me to just FTP it up to my website. Let's see if I can do that. Might be quicker anyway. So give me a second to do that. And I'll give you the URL in a second of that once I get it uploaded. Okay. Connect it to CIS. Okay. And should have put this. Week. This week and week homework. Week homework. Name of it. APK, begin. There we go. Okay. Looks like it might be uploaded now. Hang on. Okay, I'm gonna rename this app so it'll be easier to find for you. All right. So should be go to ckonkol.com/apps and then apps.apk. I'll keep it up on my screen. You can type it in on your Android. That should be it. ckonkol.com/apps/apps.apk from your Android device. Try that. For those that couldn't connect, you can just do this from now on. You want to connect to the laptop down there.
It just says type of file.
Okay.
So,
Oh, yeah, you might get a warning. That's when you say okay on the warning. Oh, should download it. Should download it to the device. Might already be on your home page. It's going to overwrite the one I put in there. Should be in the middle there. Yeah, that's it. All right, cool. Good work. You can see your.
I didn't. Let's see. I turned it on. Sorry.
Oh, you turned it off?
Yeah.
We'll turn it back on so we can try it. Who else could then want to touch it on that? Plug it. Put that in the right folder.
Were you able to get it to connect any of the PCs here?
Nope. No, they're blocking it. The software they have on here blocks it. APK. Thanks. I think it's downloading it right here.
Okay.
Let's see if it's
So, like,
before.
so when I build the project, does it make like an executable sort of? Or,
Well,
yeah.
the way I just showed you how to do it, so you're gonna have to download it. Go to your downloads folder, see if it's in there. It's already in your downloads folder.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and tap on it there. For security, your tablets, yada yada. Your tablets blocked this installation of the app. We can go into settings and check unknown sources, and that should fix it. So we'll do that. Unknown sources. Good. Go back home. Go to downloads again. It should be in your downloads folder, by the way, if you went to that URL. And it's installing. Moment of truth. Allow Google regularly check device for security problems and prevent. I would say decline because it's going to be going like crazy when we're this semester when you're installing apps. And then open it.
Cool. Thanks.
Boom, you're good. So that worked. I just converted with Jax. So when you go to that URL, which is cconkle.com/apps/apps.apk. It just takes a second to download. You'll need to go to your download folder and that middle button on your Android at the bottom, the middle one. There'll be a download section in your Android device. It should be in there. The first time you try to open it, it'll say you'll need to check unknown sources. It'll take you right to settings. You'll do that. Then second time you go through to open it, it should install it. And then from here point out, you can actually just send it to yourself like that. However you want to do it, via email or whatever.
Where do I go?
No, from your device.
Once you
On your Android device, the middle button there. Yeah. And then there should be somewhere in here should be something about downloads. And it should already be in there. Yep. And then say settings. And then you want to uncheck unknown sources, which is going to be in there somewhere. Yeah, unknown sources. Yeah, uncheck. So check that. Allow. Say okay. Tap your home button. Go back to your downloads folder again. And then you should be able to install it. If it prompts you about Android checking stuff, say you don't want to, it will ask you in a second problem. Or not. Yeah, say decline. If you want Google to check it, say decline when it prompts you. That way it won't check every one of your apps. And say open. There we go. Anybody else think I'll get that? And I would suggest just email them to yourself, set up an email on your device, and you can email it to yourself. That would work too. Well, there's a way to figure it out. And we just won't tell Stephanie about it. We'll just test it that way. I'm good? It's easy. Email to yourself. It says you're offline. Here, for Wi-Fi, you've got that turned off. Turn it on. Select it. Just see this or something. Good.
You should have downloaded it. Okay. First thing you're gonna do is we'll go to your downloads folder. Tap on that. It will say unknown source. In a second. Settings, and this will make sure this stays checked on sources. Good. Back. In. Yes, we want to install. We want to define Google to check every app we install. Open. And there we go. Anybody else need help? Everybody else do that? So from now on, in here anyway, for these computers, those that use the computers, you'll just email the APK to yourself, and you can do the same at home as well. Make sense? Good? Everybody got that? And I do like that about Android, unlike other, well, like iOS, it's not that easy to do that. There is some test apps you can do, but that's pretty simple to do. So I'm thinking that will help a lot. Okay, good. So we got that done. Everybody knows how to do that now. I do want to go over the in class is pretty simple. I do have you adding one other feature in the in class, but I will skip that for time's sake, if that's okay. And by the way, the link that I did used for the walkthrough is on the test app online in the modules area at the top. So if you want to watch my screen, if you want to, I can just demo the in-class stuff real quick and the take-home, if that's all right. And we'll do that for tonight. So everybody got my screen up in front of you? All right, cool. All right, so first thing we're going to do is go into the week 5. We'll do the week 5 homework first. The week 5 in-class is pretty simple. The only thing you're doing on that, by the way, I'll give you an example of string splits. And then I have you add a new split screen or split string and call part of it. So when it splits a string in Kotlin, like any other language, you split it by some object or some character. In this case, splitting, the example I show you splits a number and a email. It splits a number by the dashes, it splits the email by the @ symbol. And the extra thing that's not in the example is to print the email name before the @ symbol. And so I'll let you do it on your own, finish it, and submit the link to your app. But the example will show you all about that. Pretty simple. So on week 5 homework, I'll show you that one. That's basically taking a radio group, which can be kind of tricky on creating. And on the week 5 homework assignment, I did put in there a PDF to help you with step-by-step, but I'll just show you for time's sake on my screen some tips to help you with that. Basically, the way the app works is they put the full name, email, select male or female, click submit, and then it gives a message below accordingly, depending on whether they choose male or female. So it's male, it's hello, whatever name they filled in, the men's lounge on the second floor will send an email of meeting agenda to email, whatever they put in the email box. With the woman, it'll slant it towards women's lounge and their email on the first floor. So I'll go right into the app portion to help out. So when you create the app, it's a blank canvas. You'll get rid of the label, and the steps have you do that. When you're putting in all the objects here, which is the top one is a edit text for name. The next one is an edit text for email. And that one I actually use the email validation one for this one. And then the next one is, or actually the next one that's filled right now is the radio group. The radio groups can be kind of tricky, and I'll create a new one real quick just to show you. When you put in the radio group, one thing you want to do is you'll want to, when you get the radio group in there, you'll want to select the radio button and go up here to the top, and you'll want to expand that layout to wrap the content on the radio button. It'll fill up the entire radio group horizontal object. Then a button, and then lastly a text view. All these are named accordingly on the instructions, but let me show you one of the trickier part of this is the whole reason for this lesson is grouping radio buttons, which can be tricky. So I'll go ahead and show you. I'll create a new project real quick, and we'll do week test 2, empty activity. Go into my activity main layout. And the first thing I'm going to do is delete the label. And for time's sake, I'll just throw in a radio group and show you how to do that radio group. Maybe I'll do 2 edit text and radio group. Do those. That's going to help. Everything else you'll be fine with on the examples that I've given you. All right, so I'm going to make this a little bigger here. Too much. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of the hello world. And I'm going to bring in here at the top a plain text. And I even give you this size, by the way, in the instructions, the PDF instructions. I'll give you the size I want you to put in here for the height and width of this. And I think it's like 41, and I'll just do 47 on this one. It might be different on the thing. Then what I'm doing is just putting them in one by one right now. And then I'll center them in a second. The second one is email. Well, I have no good exact size second. All right, and I'll select these 2. And the way I want it, by the way, when I get these objects in here, I'll show you real quick before I do the. You can see on my screen for you, if they're the same width, it'll actually snap in there for you pretty good, right below the current one. And it looks like this, so you got a constraint in there, so let me get rid of that. So the top one I'm going to go and click on, and I'm going to make it a centered. This one right here, centered horizontal. Good. This one here, I'm going to snap it up there in the middle. And I'm centering these one by one right now. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and throw in there, go to the all, and then we can put in there the radio group that's going to have the radio buttons in there. Just throw that in. It's going to be really small at first. The radio group is really small. And I'm going to make it this exact same width as the that. And we'll do 341. Also make it centered. And then bring in the radio buttons one by one. And I forgot, I should not have centered that before I did that. Let me get that back out. Okay, I'll put the radio buttons in before I center it. There we go. Bring the second radio button. Done. Yeah, that's fine. Then what I'm going to do is select both of these, and I want to make it the same width of the radio group. I'll select the group as well, because notice once you do that, it's hard to select the group, but you can select it over here, the radio group, and then go back up here and center it that way. There we go. And then name them like normal. So that's the trickiest part. And once you get all the, and the other thing I think I've got left to put in there is a button. Might as well put the other two in there. Got a button. Same width. And so before you center anything in Android, if your objects are fairly much the same width or are the same width, and you line it up that way, and if you mistakenly, like I did on this one, I already put a constraint in here. If you mistakenly put a constraint in, just select that object, go back up here and get rid of the constraints, because you can do that last. Then lastly, we've got text view. And I generally do put the constraints in very last, but I'm just kind of showing you quickly how to do it. All right, and 341. Really the height or the width's the most important, really, on these. So I'm gonna go ahead and select everything and make sure that's centered. Good. And I'm gonna go one last time here. And I messed it up on that one. This radio button's messed up. That one is messed up. Get rid of that. Yep. We'll fix it this way. We got we'll grab this one. Okay, say it 341, that's fine. And sometimes you have to do this too. 67. It'll stretch everything accordingly now. And then the last one here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to take that bottom one. I'm going to make it the size of the screen here. Let's make that button smaller.
break the constraint if you manually do it like I'm doing it here. It'll break that constraint to where you can hard code it. Yeah, I like that better. All right, we'll go with that. All right, so play around a little bit till it gets it kind of, but anyway, the hardest one is not really hard. It's just that radio button. You just have to use this one right here, which will expand it into the content of the layout, which in this case, it's horizontal. That radio group that actually tells you it's horizontal, meaning every object you put in there, it's going to put in there horizontally. That's about it. That's everything code-wise is you can look at the example I have in the code here. If you wanted to look at the live demo link, this goes to the live demo link. The GitHub repo takes you right to the repo for that, which we're doing in this one, which is week number 5 assignment, which was done 8 days ago. And so you can download that one and look at the code. If you don't want to download it, I've already showed you how to do this, but you can go into the app folder, SRC. Wow. And we can go into main, Java, and there's your main activity, and confirm your code. But in the PDF file I have, in the PDF file, all the code should be in there, I think, for the example. Let's see if it loads up in here for me. Load it in there. There we go. Make sure it's in there. Did not want it to load down there. We'll load it on the big screen. Hang on. So let me make sure that's the case. I think that's where I put it at. Shows you how to add everything. And then here's the import you'll need. The code after the imports, which is going to be binding everything, doing your set on click listener, the message for the male or female radio button, and then the normal hide keyboard function. Pretty straightforward. Questions on that? All right. Well, the main thing tonight we did get accomplished, yay, was the getting your Android devices connected. And that's a major thing tonight to get that done, I think. Don't you agree? Getting that to where you can send it. And what's cool about this too, if you walk your friends in how to do what we showed you how to do, if they have Android devices, they will have to checkbox the install from unknown sources, which most Android people already do that. I've done that already, but maybe they haven't. More than likely they have if they have a phone or a tablet, and they can test your app as well just by sending it to an email via email. Pretty cool, right? Looking ahead for next week. And by the way, each week, even the in-class and your take-home, practice doing, even though you can port it to your device now, do the app. I think I put it in there as the requirement anyway. A Petizio link, and then also the GitHub link. On the GitHub link, we came across this last week at the end of class. The devices in here, when you put your username and password in, it saves it in that in the Android Studio. I did figure out how to cause that not to happen. So if you look on my screen, I can show you, or I have it recorded. You can look at it later. In the I think I put it in the. I put it in the app. Add Android to Android. Add GitHub to Android Studio. So one of the issues is if multiple people are on your machine, or even if they're not, it had issues with remembering. It would remember your username and password on these machines, which I really didn't like that. So one of the things I put in here on the add GitHub to Android Studio is do not save GitHub credentials in Android Studio. Now, those of you who have a Mac or PC at home you're doing this with, you might want to keep it as it is. You want to keep it in there. But if you're on these devices in here, we wouldn't want it because maybe I wouldn't want my credentials saved in here. So you can go to, and it shows you how to go through and basically make it to where it does not remember the passwords and the settings. And so I'll show you on mine. I've actually set mine up to do that when I go to submit anything now. Now this one I just did, so
we can see here, moment of truth here on if this works. So I didn't change it from when I went through the test. So if I share this project on GitHub, it should prompt me for a password. Yay, it did it. Now, one of the cool things it'll do each time, though, is it's annoying or cool, however you want to look at it. But you will need to do this create API token button each time, and then log in with your GitHub credentials. It'll let you do a commit and sync or commit and push. But then when you exit out Android Studio, it will ask you each time to do that over and over again. Okay? So hopefully that helps those of you that had an issue with that last week. So yeah, next week I did want to cover though, next week we are going to be having you submit in week 6 a final app, which is actually pretty timing since we just got your Androids connected to your Android Studio, your Android devices. So on the final app for next week, just kind of jumping ahead a little bit, I know some of you have already started thinking of it and looked at it. Final app assignment to present at the end of the semester. You're going to create an app prototype. Those of you having iOS, same type of thing. It won't be a fully functional app, but it will be what you show will be functional. But it won't. I don't expect it to be a fully mature app, but definitely a prototype. And so all I need is app description. What type of it is it? A game, productivity, utility app, target audience. At least three instances, meaning 3 pages here. I think next week, if I'm not mistaken, or week after, where we start showing you how to create multiple pages in your Android Studio. A little different than iOS in the fact that you have to bind, when you create an activity, you have to bind that activity hard code in the main XML file to make the parent, that main page, that parent, and then everything else is a child, but I'll show you how to do that. Also have validation, also have a data connection, and so you'll learn all of that by the end of the semester. So anyway, all you need to do to submit this is your final app idea is name, app description, app type, target audience, and that's it. That's all you need to submit on this week because you won't have the 3 instances yet, you won't have validation yet, and you won't have data connection yet. But at least it kind of lets you know what I'm looking for. Make sense? Questiones. All right, well, thanks for your patience, as always. We figured it out, so we found a workaround, which was sending your APK. Do I now?
It's hard to teach a new technology class.
Oh, yeah, and I've done it umpteen times. It's like riding a bike or something, and it's like, yeah, it's what's new, right? But, that's the nature of coding in general, so it doesn't bother me. Some people it would. It doesn't bother me. All right, so anyway, good job. Make sure you log off before you leave. If you have any questions, come and see me. And thanks for letting me use your device. Appreciate it. And this is recorded too, by the way. You can go back and watch it later. Yeah. Oh, no. Don't worry about that. No. I was wanting to show, because a lot of you, if you're like me, are kind of anal retentive in that fact that you kind of want to figure out the best way to resize things on the form. And so that's why I thought I'd show you in the class. But no, you don't have to redo it if you've already done it. Don't worry about it. No. No.
I was able to email myself the APK test.
And it did work? Awesome. Yeah, so on your Android device, I would recommend setting up like your Google. Now, one thing I would recommend is not to use your school email account because there's limitations on your school Google account. You can't do certain things in Google with your school email account. For instance, you can't Google Hangouts or something. I think they got that turned off. You can't do all that. So create a brand new Gmail. Most of you already have another Gmail account already. Use that Gmail account on your Android device. Do not use your Rock Valley College one. I would recommend that because you're just going to be limited a little bit. So cool. Awesome. Good job. And be careful. Well, hopefully, I don't think it started yet. It's supposed to start at 6, so we'll find out. Well, it's snowpocalypse hits or not. What I think the last I heard from Henderson, 23, 11 or 12 inches in some areas, as low as 6 inches. So anywhere between 6 and a foot. So whatever rate. So basically, I think that means they don't know. So whatever we get, right? 6 to 10. There you go. Yeah. Do I know?
Where's the restroom?
Restroom, when you walk out the door to the right, that way, and then all the way down on the left before you hit the doors to go out.
No, he did not.
Yep.
No, he didn't.
Hey, what happened to your whatever happened to your laptop?
Did you get another one?
No.
Okay. Are you looking for another one?
Not right now, no.
Because Jack mentioned a good selling one, by the way. Was he just joking? At Best Buy. What was that one he mentioned at Best Buy? There was like a 256 gig or it was 512 gig. What was it like? How much was it? It wasn't real expensive. 250 at Best Buy.
Yeah, I'm not looking for another one right now.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll keep my ears open for you.
I don't know what laptop charger you grabbed, but mine was still sitting over there, so
Well, Stephanie was supposed to grab it and put it in the office, so evidently she didn't.
maybe she didn't.
Okay. Well, and also too, until you get a new computer, like I said, the back 3 Macs in the Mac Lab are all stuff with Android Studio.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
And also too, just so you know, I do have a, and I don't use it. I do have a monthly subscription to an online